What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Cards for Hire. So today I'm getting a strong energy of shadow work. There's a need for shadow work if you're not already in the depths of it. So first off, let me go ahead and pray before we eat, before I get started. Lord, I thank you in advance. I ask for clarity, protection, as well as progression and connection. I extend my gratitude and ask that my angels and guides protect me and mine on this vibe. So shadow work. A few things happened for this to culminate in my mind, for this to all make sense. So for one, I was putting my baby down. Now this is a two-parter. Putting my baby down and I heard, I never knew my father. No, that's the last part he said. He said, now there is a father looking for his little boy. So there's something about wounds, like deeply rooted wounds, that need to be brought out in order for you to reach a certain level of success. I get the energy that there's somebody here, more than one person here, that has come to a point in their journey where they're a little afraid of what happens next, only because it seems like it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a different level of success than you're used to. And with that being said, there's a certain level of professionalism, i.e. my attire, professionalism or security that is expected of you. Yeah. So I heard that from Finding Nemo. Mind you, if I'm not mistaken, Finding Nemo, I think in Japanese is nobody. So somebody could have walked along this life, walked through this life, feeling a little lost, not only lost, but attempting to find who they were. So essentially possibly feeling like they were nobody until they came to this certain level of success. Now, the second part of this energy that really struck me was it's nap time for my baby boy, and something that I have always done with him since the day I brought him home. I was always afraid of him suffocating under a blanket. So while he was wide awake, we would always practice taking the blanket off of his face. So now his blanket, whichever blanket, he has about 5 or 6, they have become his safety net. So I know when he's sleepy, when he starts sucking on his blanket. However, now, we're in the stage of peekaboo. So I go and check on him, trying to, gauge how sleepy he is. And he is sitting crisscross applesauce in his crib with a blanket over his head. And I'm like, Bubba, what are you doing? And he says, boo. Like, ha, gotcha. But that gives me the energy of someone being safe, finding comfort in their defense mechanism, finding comfort in what was meant only to adhere to your survival, and it's not beneficial in this next phase for you to thrive, if that makes sense. Yeah. I was also getting the song Panic Room. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's like AU/RA. Aura. It might be Aura. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I was picking up on. And it's very interesting. Somebody's afraid of success. Somebody's definitely afraid of success. Also, vulnerability. Someone could be afraid of vulnerability. So if you are going through a shadow or needing to cleanse yourself of this shadow, because in order to reach your success, you're going to have to go through your shadow. You're going to have to get all of the negativity, all of the limitations out. And a lot of times those stem all the way down to your childhood. Man, so I wanted to speak on that. I wanted to check in with that. I wanted to cover that. And I envisioned myself turning the cards and pulling them from their, I almost said from their retrograde form. Is that planet in retrograde right now? I'm not sure. Someone is thinking about, what if this doesn't work? Because normally I like to put the cards up positively. I guess subconsciously it's more, the cards will fall as they should, but technically I like to see them positively. If they're negative already in my deck, then I don't even take it because I want to start off positive. However, somebody is starting off negatively. So this might be a message for you to rewire your brain. It's not about what if it doesn't work, but what if it does? How good can it get? How good can it get? Yeah, how good can it get, guys? You know I'm gonna come for you. 8 of Swords. And I still ended up, it still came out in the upright. Interesting. 8 of Swords. So like I said, somebody's trapped in their head, trapped in something. Now, the 8 of Swords is a mental prison. It's mental imprisonment. You can always take yourself out of it. You can always step away from the negativity. Something about heavy on defense mechanisms. I just came across a video. I can't remember his name, but he was being encouraged to push through a workout. And the guy said, I know. He said, you're skinny. You couldn't fight. You couldn't beat anybody up. So you made them laugh. And man, something about self-deprivation here. Some people find humor. It's like, before you can get to me, I'm going to get to myself. It's kind of like, yeah, like a bigger person, maybe like, yeah, I know I'm fat or something like that. Yeah, I know I'm big. Man, yeah, it's holding you back. Justice in reverse. The 6 of Swords and the King of Swords. Somebody is not only doubting their movement forward, you're doubting whether or not you deserve it. You're also doubting whether or not you're even right. Am I clear on this? Do I have the capacity to do this? And abso-freaking-lutely you do. Come on now. Absolutely you do. 6, 7. Don't deceive yourself. And don't deny yourself of things that you deserve. The things that you deserve. Queen of Wands. The Magician, the Page of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. You are more powerful than you believe, my God. And now we see the Page of Swords and the 5 of Swords. You could have dealt with a lot of jealousy in your past. And sometimes jealousy presents itself as demeaning. So talking down on you, projection. If I can't do this, neither can you. Yes, but these people have always watched you in your power. Now, mind you, the 6 of Swords is reversed here. So this is something that you always go back to. It's like taking 10 steps forward and then taking a few steps back. You're not even going back the full 10 paces. Just a few steps, and then you go back to where you originally started from. And then it starts all over again. This is a cycle. But you're more powerful than you believe, and people have always seen that in you, which is why if they felt intimidated, insecure around your energy, because you give off confidence, you give off beauty, you give off ambition, you give off the energy that you can do anything you set your mind to. However, when you are surrounding yourself with people, that's very significant. Surrounding yourself with appropriate people. In the movie Finding Nemo, Marlin was around the dads at the beginning, and they weren't feeling him. He wasn't a funny clown. He wasn't what they expected. And so they downed him in a way. Now they didn't down him in his face, but the energy that they gave off was, yeah, interesting. So it's very important to surround yourself with the appropriate people. Somebody might think about therapy. You might want to consider therapy. And if not therapy, start a business. I follow someone on Instagram, and she says, if you don't want to do therapy, then start a business. A business will make you deconstruct what you are and reconstruct who you're meant to be. Welcome to the panic room. And know they're gonna see you when I don't even know the words. The Lovers in reverse, yes. Somebody's worried about making the appropriate choice. Also, I was getting, you might want to go on a digital detox. You might want to not only watch what it is that you're intaking digitally, but also limiting what it is that you are consuming digitally. Yeah, yeah, Ace of Swords. Not everything you see on social media is true. And although, you know, we know that subconsciously, but sometimes it's hard to remember. People only show you their highlights. There are some people who get on the screen and cry. But a lot of people hurt behind the scenes. 3 of Cups in reverse. There's something about the crowd that you're in right now that is not beneficial to where you're going. And so I would love for you to consider rerouting, surrounding yourself with a soul tribe and not just people there for the vibe. Because when the vibe goes, where are they? When you're no longer the life of the party, where are they? If they're not still there to help you get back up, then they don't deserve you when you are at your peak. A father wound could be very significant. Either lack of discipline or possibly an overly strict father figure. Yeah, death in reverse. There's something here that you have yet to release. What is this? Ace of Wands, and it's not conducive. It's not conducive to your inspiration. It's not conducive to what you are attempting to build right now. What don't kill you make you stronger, and you're gonna have to let some stuff go. Yeah, the Devil in reverse. Somebody's not yet willing to release some type of toxicity. The 7 of Cups in reverse. That's clarity. And the Page of Cups in reverse. Someone could be possibly waiting on, yeah, Empress in reverse. Somebody could be possibly waiting on an apology that will never come. It's not going to come. So forgive them for your own well-being and move on. And there may be a sense of panic around this. This could definitely be family members, long-term friends, long-term partners. You may be even rethinking your ability to choose adequate people. Yeah, 6 of Wands. In reverse. You may be surrounding yourself around people who don't allow you to speak up. You're not allowed to be vulnerable around these people. You're just the life of the party, or you're the funny one. You may not be the one that they turn to for advice, for in-depth conversation. Or you may not feel comfortable coming to them for those things, coming to them for advice. Yeah. Something about the need to put your guard down. And if you put your guard down and those people don't appreciate what it is that you are doing, how vulnerable that you are showing yourself to be, then those are not your people. I guarantee you. Knight of Cups in reverse. You have people that don't even know how to love themselves. They don't even know how to love themselves here. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. And they're not benefiting from that. They're not on top of the wheel. They are not benefiting from this lifestyle. So if you come around and you're attempting to speak life into people, or you're hoping someone will speak life into you at your lowest moments, if they don't have the capacity, then it won't happen. I think about the analogy of having a water bottle full and the cap of the water bottle. The water bottle's capacity to hold is way bigger than the cap's ability or capacity to hold. So if you are a water bottle filling up a cap, its capacity is only so much. After a while, you're wasting your time, energy, and resources. What else from this deck, God? Yeah, 9 of Cups. No one in this group is actually doing what it is that pleases them. No one in this group is actually doing what it is that makes them happy. They're not even attempting to reach out for their stars, for their dreams, for their stars. The sun, the moon, and the stars, I guess. For the sky. Reach for the sky. Toy Story could be significant. Disney movies. DreamWorks could be significant. DreamWorks. The 5 of Wands and the 2 of Swords. Somebody's no longer in this competitive, this combative energy. You're coming out of denial in some way, shape, or form. You're coming out of denial as far as what it is that you need to let go of. And my face scrunched up because I'm hearing, how low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the flow? How deep can you go in order to scoop out what is no longer serving you? There's a lot of shallow people around you. Again, with the Wheel of Fortune. People that don't have the capacity to expand beyond what it is that they see. Look beyond what you see. All right, Disney. Oh, crap. Look beyond what you see. How am I supposed to look beyond what I see, beyond that? You're around people who can't see past the obstacles. They see the obstacle and they're like, gotta go another way. Whereas you're more so leaning towards the path of, I see an obstacle and I can hurdle that sucker. Let me back up, and now I'm seeing an arrow. You know, an arrow goes farther, the farther back it's pulled. So sometimes you gotta go back. You gotta reach backwards to go farther. So you gotta backtrack. Okay, how did I get here? And how can I get farther? Wow. All right. What else, God? Beautiful. Ascending. You're ascending. You're a different person now. As a woman now. As a woman now. Ritual. 44. And health concern. Yes. Your routines are going to have to change. Especially if you have an internal health concern, a physical health concern. You've already realized what you are consuming, be it physical food, be it what you are hearing musically, be it what you are hearing verbally from conversation. You're going to have to put a microscope on that and make sure that it is appropriate for where you are in life. I keep hearing this idea, this theory. It's not really a theory. I believe it to be true. When you are eating, be careful what you are saying. There are studies that show water, when it's spoken to, how do I put this? When it's spoken to negatively, the molecules change. Same with positive. When you speak positively, I'm hearing when you talk to your plants, they will talk to you. So when you speak life into water, plants, and everything else that might not be animate objects, that are inanimate objects, and then you put them in your mouth, you are consuming that energy. So if you are eating and you're like, man, I ain't this, I ain't that, I ain't never gonna have this, I ain't never gonna have that, you're literally eating your words. You're eating that vibration. You're drinking that vibration. So I encourage you to consider being very mindful about what it is that you say and spew, is what I just heard. There's power in the tongue. What is it that you're speaking over your life? I talk about it all the time. Gossip is one of the easiest ways to cast a spell. Because when we think about how a word is constructed, we have to spell it out. Spell it out. Evil eye. Be careful what people are telling you. Be careful to, what's the word I'm looking for? Filter out the negativity that people are telling you about yourself, about themselves. Be careful about that. And if you have somebody that is so negative that they can't change their mindset even about themselves, you damn skippy they can't change it about you. I'm hearing, I am whatever I say I am. Come on. It's a good one. I like this. Thank you. Distant future, priest. Distant future and priest. Now, what do priests go and do? They preach in the pulpit. They preach in the pulpit. A lot of times they give you life. If you go to a bad church, sometimes they'll give you spite. Sometimes they speak from the flesh. But when you go to the appropriately anointed person, their words hit in a powerful way. Somebody might be wanting to go back to church. Courthouse. Proper judgment. This is also speaking on your discernment. When you surround yourself with the appropriate people, the appropriate energies, with the appropriate frequencies. And I say that because music has the ability to change your whole persona. When you think about it, when we want to go outside, we listen to music that's going to pump us up. Sometimes when we're sad, we may listen to sad music. I personally do the opposite. But I know someone who, when he's sad, he listens to even sadder music to get him even lower. I have no idea why. And I'm being drawn to the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, during the Holocaust era, Hitler changed the frequency of the music, or someone changed the frequency of the music. The music that we are listening to right now actually makes us a little more aggressive. That's why we have frequency music that is very important to filter all that negativity out. So your discernment is very important, and it will be important in the distant future, especially if you're banking on some type of success. Don't let people confuse you. It's so many things that you can slip and fall on as far as illusions and curtains. As far as illusions and curtains, false narratives. Make sure that you know your truth so nobody else can tell you what the hell it is. That's what shadow work is. It's all love and light until it's time for you to dig deep. Spirituality is not all rainbows, butterflies, and fairies. This is some deep shit. Okay. And I say that to say, we are stepping into divine energy, divinity, if you will. It's time for us to elevate. And we can't take the negative energies of this world. We are supposed to be in it, not of it. Yeah. Anything else, God, closing out? I'm going to close out with an oracle. I just saw booty. Self-love. Love yourself enough to know who and what you could be. Love yourself enough to know, to allow yourself to be reprogrammed. You got the power. You the boss. This is your movie. How's it going to end? Only you can decide that. Only you can prevent wildfires. Hey, Dad. All right. We got it right here. Thank you so much, Lord. Thank you so much, God. I really appreciate it. Joy. Just wobble around with joy. Somebody could be eating marshmallows. Peaceful Warrior. And the number 5 again, Joy had 14. Journey 16. Let's go, baby. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7s always give me karmic lessons. When we know better, we do better. Amen? Amen. Peaceful Warrior, Milk Thistle. This is definitely a card about nurturing. As I was talking about my baby, she's breastfeeding. Yeah. And you see this? This is your shadow. Always there, peeking out. I just heard the eyes are the windows to the soul. Peaceful Warrior, Shield, Truth Keeper, Shelter, Sanctuary, Safekeeping, and Justice. Milk Thistle dispels the damaging and destructive thoughts. I'm done. Okay. The damaging and destructive thoughts that can induce an endless loop of self-sabotage. Speak through me, God. I love it. Oh my gosh. Abandoned insecurity, gossip, and fear-based protection strategies that enable frustration or a false sense of growth. Do not waste your time trying to control what cannot be controlled. Like a peaceful warrior, set your boundaries firmly and fearlessly. Like Badger, Milk Thistle shakes up systems that hinder innovation and halts patterns and behaviors that stunt growth. Know that what you are not changing, you are choosing. And I ain't gonna say it again. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining me. If you reached the end of this message, I appreciate you. Like, comment, and subscribe on the sister stuff. What y'all doing? Y'all don't like me? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't really care. If you're interested in a personal, please feel free to check the info in the description box below. And until next time, boo boo.